Hello, dear friends. Hello, dear friends. Best greetings from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. We start our stream online. We start our stream on telephone line and on computer line together. So I repeat my announcement about opening translation. Hello, my dear friends. Best greetings from Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. My name is Viktor Fursov. I'm a research entomologist, beekeeper, and teacher. And today we have very special opportunity and possibility to talk about beekeeping in Ukraine in English language. Actually, I have been talking with some different beekeepers abroad about beekeeping in Ukraine. They asked me different questions. So a word about the situation in Ukraine. Beekeepers and entomologists, because I'm entomologist, I'm involved in the research, in the scientific research of parasitic wasps, which are useful in biological control. They're just here on my poster behind of me. But today we will be talking about beekeeping, because it's considered that beekeeping is a huge industry in Ukraine, that many people involved in beekeeping. So that's why we have to pay attention to beekeeping industry and beekeepers and honeybees and wild bees as well, because I'm talking about wild bees, wasps, hornets on my channel. I'm showing them in my different videos, just in cages like that, with some different wasps, bees, bumblebees, even some dangerous hornets. I show them on my channel to attract attention of people to the problem of introduced species. For instance, this species can be introduced accidentally to Ukraine. This is a small Asian hornet, Velutina. So watch my other video on my channel. But today we'll be talking about beekeepers. Actually, I'm hobby time beekeeper because I don't have my own beekeeping farm. Just I'm pretty often meeting with beekeepers online and personally. So I have reported about different beekeeping inventions on several international beekeeping congresses. So I have experience in beekeeping, even some kind of education in beekeeping. An entomologist actually has a wider knowledge about insects, biodiversity, morphology, physiology, behavior, and industry as well. What's about beekeeping? Actually, in Ukrainian government considers that beekeeping has a strategic direction in developing agriculture in Ukraine. In addition to the fact that significant number of people, beekeepers, are involved in the industry, beekeeping industry in Ukraine. Beekeeping is of great importance for pollinating crops and increasing their yield, which substantially contributes to our Ukrainian economy and agriculture. It's considered that probably about 400,000 beekeepers are working in Ukraine. Who knows how many of them now? It was considered that over 3 million of different types of beehives with honeybee colonies have been located in Ukraine. Who knows how many of them are located now? Because of Russia-Ukrainian war, because of relocation of different people from Ukraine, from one place to another place, from one country to another country, because of some destruction of beekeeping industry in some occupied areas. That's why we will be talking about impact of war on Ukrainian beekeepers, on Ukrainian bees, on Ukrainian beekeeping industry. Actually, honeybees, as well as solitary wild bees, are highly impacted by this war. Actually, because of wide area of steppe region of Ukraine has been occupied and it's impacted by military actions. So a lot of soil has been completely destroyed. A lot of plants, flowers, trees, tree plantations, food resources for wild bees and for honeybees. A lot of food resources has been destroyed polluted by chemicals, by military chemicals, after shelling, after all this bombardment, after all these military activities. And of course, beekeepers, together with their honeybees colonies, their beehives, were either relocated from one place to another, if they had this opportunity, or they relocated without their equipment at all, because they lost everything. For instance, in some areas like Slavyansk in Kharkiv region, our famous Ukrainian beekeeper Vladimir Malikhin, he has relocated from his countryside beekeeping farm. He lost all his beehives. He lost his books. He printed 6 books about Ukrainian beekeeping and different beekeeping methods. He lost his beekeeping farm, his countryside house, and he relocated to Kyiv and maybe other cities. He's moving now. So today I will be talking about some cases, some positive cases of some help to Ukrainian beekeepers from different organizations. Why? Because it's better to talk not only about huge impact, about devastation, about destruction of honeybee colonies in occupied areas. It's completely obvious that a lot of honeybee colonies have been demolished, destroyed without any relocation. But some people just escaped from these occupied areas. Some people relocated to another cities in other regions in Ukraine. Some of them relocated abroad. But fortunately, some people who relocated to Ukrainian territory, which are not occupied from occupied areas, they have received some kind of support from different organizations. And there are some organizations, there are some charities, some non-governmental organizations, some foundations, some funds who provided substantial, not maybe daily, maybe monthly support, but at least certain amount of financial support, with not only financial, but only moral, spiritual support to Ukrainian beekeepers who are relocated from one area to another area. It had some possibilities for them to restore their business, because beekeepers, they have opportunity to have beehives and honeybee colonies and to work with bees as hobbyists. Obviously, hobbyists, they have few beehives. So for them, this is not very important if their honeybees colonies maybe die in a couple of beehives. So they are not making living on that. But there are some professional beekeepers who is living on the products of their beekeeping. Most of Ukrainian beekeepers, majority, are living in countryside, in villages. So they have from 30 up to 100 beehives. So this is a middle size of Ukrainian beekeeping farm. So they are making living on their beekeeping activity, on their beekeeping business. Of course, we are not very happy always about situation with prices of honey in Ukraine, because prices are always going down below, just little, always below important market price as it's possible. It's actually about 1.4, 1.5 Ukrainian hryvnia, dollars. In Ukrainian hryvnia, about from 50 up to 60 Ukrainian hryvnias. That's not very much. But there are some organizations, as I said, some charities who helped Ukrainian beekeepers who have been relocated from one place to another. So I found some charities online, and I am pleased to describe some of their positive activities and their positive results of help to Ukrainian beekeepers. Because this my video intended mostly, of course, for English-speaking audience. Fortunately, there are some young people in Ukraine, some young Ukrainian beekeepers, middle-aged of Ukrainian beekeepers, can speak English, at least can understand, or maybe they can use subtitles. All the beekeepers who are on pension, of course, very rare cases they speak English. But nevertheless, some of young generation are interested in beekeeping, so they're watching for internet, they're watching for different beekeeping technologies. They're trying to establish their beekeeping farm to receive some profit. So I'm speaking in English to be wider understood by some charities, some sponsors outside of Ukraine, and to be understood by some interested people in Ukraine, because some young people can speak English, or at least I can support their interest in study English and in search for better life and for better grants, for better financial support, not only abroad, in the opportunity to emigrate abroad, but in an opportunity to find some grants inside Ukraine, because there are some charities, some funds, some organizations who are providing this financial support for Ukrainian beekeepers, for Ukrainian teachers, for Ukrainian relocated people. If you can apply on computer. I'm not English teacher myself, I'm a researcher. I'm a researcher in entomology, in science of entomology, science which is studying insects. And I'm also have knowledge in beekeeping. That's why today I'm talking about beekeeping. Hello, who is joining us on stream. Watch and ask questions if you do not understand something in English. I can make some corrections for Ukrainian speaking audience. I'm speaking English for Americans, for Indians, Indian people, for South America, for Ukraine, and also for European people who is speaking totally in English, not only German language, Spanish language, Portuguese, but all Europeans are speaking English. So watch it. I will not speak Russian. Okay. I deleted some bots online. Okay. I found some charities who provided some financial support to Ukrainian beekeepers during the past years. For instance, one American charity, this is organization who is providing financial support to some other organization abroad. And this charity, first one is Greater Good Charities. This is a charity which is located in Seattle, in the state of Washington, in the west of United States of America. And in last springtime, in April 2024, this charity, which is named special name, Greater Good Charities, maybe unit of different charities, sent a field team to meet with some of Ukrainian beekeepers who received financial and aid from their colonies, which were destroyed in early months of war. So they meet with people. Over 120 Ukrainian beekeepers received some financial support from Greater Good Charities. And these meetings were very emotional, filled with tears and gratitude. And the work of this charity in Ukraine was not only the support of bees, honeybees, and ecosystem, but also helped to play important economical role in the region for supporting beekeepers who have lost everything. And actually, beekeeping in Ukraine is a significant industry in Ukraine, as they are one of primary suppliers of honey in the region. Ukraine has a top third place in the top of 3 exporters of honey to Europe. Third place, fourth place, and second place among these suppliers of honey to Europe on industrial level. However, this beekeeping industry has been severely affected by ongoing war, Russian-Ukrainian war. Beekeepers in Ukraine have been forced to leave their homes and abandon their hives. Due to the lack of attention, bee colonies can suffer from diseases, from the varroa mites, which are fatal and destructional for beehives. Honeybees, which can survive, face a lot of difficulties in searching for food resources, because of the numerous plants and flowers have been destroyed and plants demolished completely and soil has been polluted. This charity described several cases of positive impact, positive support. For example of Ukrainian beekeeper who received some support from this charity. I can count them because it's on computer, but not always people crowding computer. Some people are watching video, I can understand it on video better. The case of Sergey. Sergey was the first beekeeper which a team of rated charities met in January 2024 during assessment of bee relief efforts. He showed his destroyed beehives. He had about 90 beehives before invasion, and only 4 beehives survived. Sergey was one of the first recipients of assistance of this charity. He received 20 honeybee packages, pollen, some sugar, and medicine for treating honeybees. And now he has 40 thriving honeybees beehives, and he even donates some honey he produces to his community. Another case is case of family of beekeepers, Alessia and Vadim. Alessia and Vadim are parents of 2 young children. Their village was occupied for 3 weeks, and it became an active front line for severe war. Family hid for weeks in a small underground shelter with 7 other family members. Despite extreme cold, they dared not hit the place for fear of being discovered by the smoke by Russian soldiers. Eventually, they evacuated from this place and they left everything behind. When family returned to their village almost a year later, unfortunately their home and all their beehives had been destroyed by shelling. Before the war, this family had over 100 beehives, and beekeeping was their main resource of income. So they were really terrified that when they realized they no longer had a way to provide for their family. So they were really professional beekeepers. They were living because they had beekeeping business. Thanks to the donor support of greater good charities, this foundation, the family of Vadim and Alessia received 20 bee packages. They received pollen, sugar, some medicine for honeybee colonies. They were able to build new honeybee colonies. Currently, they have about 80 beehives, which produces about 7,000 kilos of honey per season. Another positive case of support by rated good charities. This is Tatiana, beekeeper Tatiana. Tatiana became a beekeeper about 20 years ago, and beekeeping was not only her main resource of income, but she has helped through her husband's death. Now her bees also help Tatiana cope with trauma from the war. She lost all her beehives due to the direct missile attack at her village, because her village was on a front line between Russian and Ukrainian army for 8 months. Tatiana showed the burned remnants of her property and surrounded fields, which were really heavily damaged and still mined around. Last year, Tatiana received from rated good charities 30 beehive packages, as well as pollen, sugar, and medicine for bees. Thanks to the support of donors, she's not only returned to honey production and beekeeping activity, but also expanded her colonies to about 50 beehives. Another positive case of help greater good charities organization. This is a family Natalia and Andrew. Natalia and Andrei Savchenko are third generation beekeepers. They took over their family's apiary in 2009, and they expanded their apiary significantly to build a business. At the start of the invasion, the Russian army was located about half a mile from their house, posing a severe danger to the family. They were forced to evacuate. The family left their business behind. They have lost over 100 beehives, and only 20 hives survived. In 2023, this family received 18 bee packages and managed to grow their colonies up to 60. Due to ecological disaster caused by the war and significant loss of honeybees, their pollinators, this family, Natalia and Andrew, are determined to use their colonies to support farmers who are working to rebuild as well. Now most of their hives are on trailers and ready to move to pollinate crops and aid farmers throughout the region. Another case, positive support greater good charity, is beekeeper Alexander. Before full-scale invasion, Alexander has 180 beehives, and he relied on beekeeping to support his family. However, all his beehives were completely destroyed since we were in a village on the front lines between Russian and Ukrainian army. Unable to afford new hives, Alexander has built them himself. From greater good charities, Alexander received 36 bee packages. He received some pollen, sugar, and medicine for honeybees. Thanks to this support, he is not only producing 4,000 kilos of honey last year, 2024, but also doubled his beehives, currently caring for 75 beehives colonies. So far, so good, we can say that Greater Good Charity has made a lot of activities in Ukraine, helping over 100 people, 100 beekeepers in Ukraine, supported in their activity. So this charity has been on the ground since the beginning of and committing to long-term support of Ukraine, supporting Ukraine for the people, pets, and planet most impacted by the war. Honeybees play a critical role in our Earth ecosystem and human food production, but are still faced with significant threats of war in Ukraine. This charity, Greater Good Charities, is working with partners to help prevent further losses of honeybee colonies from destruction and starvation in Ukraine due to the impact of the Russia-Ukrainian war. And support of different donors are very helpful to support the hope of beekeepers which are most in need. I found some other cases of positive support of beekeepers by other organizations. For example, one case also described on the web. This is a case of resident of Kyiv region, Kyiv district. Her name is Lyudmila, and she is beekeeper. And Kyiv region resident Lyudmila, her husband, they have been beekeepers for over 40 years. The couple had an apiary with 30 beehives, which actually has a lot of honeybees inside, just nearly 500,000 bees. In the beginning of 2023, the family evacuated from their house with their dogs and cats. The bees had to be left behind because it's challenging to take 30 beehives, which average has over 70 kilos, and it's difficult too expensive to do it alone. Later, they still returned to the honeybees. Beekeepers said that they couldn't live without pets, so they decided to take the bees out from the dangerous territory. Evacuating the bees in the middle of season when insects have been collected through enough honey is a new experience for beekeepers, but they successfully coped to do it. So they are probably from the Donetsk region, not from Kyiv region. This family removed frames with honey, which had about 40-50 kilos for each colony from first batch of hives, and loaded them into truck. The beehive landing boards, opening with bees and flying out, were closed in advance. The road from Donetsk region to another home of bees in Dnipropetrovsk region was about 2 hours. So they relocated their apiary from Donetsk region to Dnipropetrovsk region on another bank of Dnieper River. Immediately after the end of curfew and before the departure of bees from the hive for nectar. The bees managed their path well, and they have already gotten used to new temporary place. In 2022, this beekeeper's family didn't get any honey for sale. They left what they had, what the bees had managed to collect, just 2 insects for themselves to eat. But they managed to cope with the main task of protecting the bees, so they relocated the beekeeping farm. And in summertime, these bees moved from the Donetsk region and settled in Cherkasy. And this is another case of Alexander from the Donetsk region, who removed from the Donetsk region to Cherkasy. Alexander is beekeeper, and he was engaged in beekeeping at home. He said that as soon as he hears a bee swarm, he immediately runs to the sound. The same happening from front line when a soldier saw a bee swarm on a tree. He carefully shook the queen with the swarm into the box under the pies because they knew the bees would perish without care. When he returned to the base of his unit, he found a new house of bees, ammunition box. Here the case how one beekeeper tried to make a colony inside ammunition box from cannons. But it's actually not very healthy. It's quite dangerous to use military equipment because it's heavily polluted. So that's why I do not approve this possibility to use this box to keep honeybee colony. So this is a case of not healthy keeping honeybees inside of ammunition box. Here this is another case of positive relocation. This is a case of beekeeper Roman. Roman also evacuated from one region to another. From Dnipropetrovsk region, he was removed. He relocated from Lugansk region, where he developed an industry beekeeping apiary for 5 years. In Lugansk region, he had 200 beehives and brought a stable income. Due to Russia-Ukrainian war, full-scale invasion of Russia to Ukraine, the man and his family were forced to leave their home, their favorite business, in the beginning of March 2022. 22, of course. The apiary was under occupation on the second day of full-scale invasion. There was no access, so Beekeeper could not take anything with him. Having found himself in one of the villages in Pavlograd district in Dnipropetrovsk region, the beekeeper Roman began to think about restoring the apiary and where to find money and funds to start a new business from scratch. He turned to the specialist of Special Foundation of US Embassy. This is US Aid Project, economic support of Ukraine. And this project helped him prepare a business plan and receive a grant from the state and under the Yerobota program for 250,000 hryvnias. And this beekeeper spent his money to purchase wood for beehives, frames, other inventory for beekeeping activities, and bee packages. And Roman also employed 2 internally displaced persons who is working now in his apiary in Dnipropetrovsk region. The beekeeper has worked even in winter, so now in the shop we're preparing hives, painting them to the new season so we can bring them outside in the spring. Here in Dnipropetrovsk region, beekeeper says, there are good honey plants, herbs, acacia, forests and rivers, and I hope that I will get delicious honey in the new season. Another possibility to receive a grant, for example, was possible in previous years. Receive a grant from Danish Refugee Council. For example, he received support from a grant from Danish Refugee Council for several thousand euros to purchase wax production equipment. And also he didn't stop on this opportunity. He applied also for Mezhirich community in Dnipropetrovsk region to purchase some premises through the auction, where he plans to set up a wax production facility. So the man from Lugansk believes that he will succeed because he has a favorite business, beekeeping business, with bees and faith to victory. So he is looking forward to spring, new season, to create a new powerful apiary. And now he has already prepared more than 100 beehives for new season. There are some activities that have been done by this project, US Aid project, in Zootechnic Department of Petro Prokopovich Beekeeping Institute of National Academy of Sciences of Ukraine, which is located in Kyiv, Ukraine. And this department of Beekeeping Institute is created interbreed type of Ukrainian steppe breed bees called a Hadyachsky interbreed of honeybees, which scientists announced that the Ukrainian National Academy of Agrarian Sciences has a very productive and healthy interbreed, which is very efficient to be used in Ukraine. A new type of steppe bees is optimal for restoring apiaries that suffered from military aggression in Ukraine, central and eastern regions. And this interbreed, Hadyachsky honeybee, have improved hygienic behavior. The use of selected material will ensure profitability within 35% due to the improvement of epizootic situation in apiaries for 30–40% and stabilize the economic and useful features of honeybee colonies. It can increase their overall productivity over 15%, as it was indicated in Beekeeping Institute of National Academy of Sciences of a National Agrarian Academy of Sciences of Ukraine report. One other example of financial support I found in the report of USAID project. This is a support of Gadich Agricultural College. Gadich Agricultural College is located in the city Gadich, Poltava region. And this project of USAID Economical Resilience Activity, USAID project, had been helping to Gadich Agricultural College in some training, in some equipment, in training of future beekeepers in modern agricultural and beekeeping methods of beekeeping since 2019. In the last year, 2024, USAID Economical Resilience Activity project provided the school in Gadich Agricultural School, with some new equipment, with new laboratories, with training apiary, with a modern honey processing station, as well with beekeeping equipment, with some equipment in computers, including 20 computers, laptop computers with software, with a laptop charging cabinet, with 15 good microscopes, 2 thermostats, with 2 incubators for queen bee rearing, 2 water baths for some beekeeping activities, and even 1 set of microscope for artificial insemination of honeybee queens. Very useful and very expensive equipment to study and to make insemination of queen bees. So very good financial support for this organization. And this support would allow students and teachers of Gadich Agricultural College to conduct research, study, and prevent the spread of varroa diseases and other diseases which contributed to the preservation of Ukrainian bee breeds, such as Carpathian interbreed honeybees, Ukrainian steppe interbreed, and Palesian interbreed of honeybees. So we hope that as with this equipment, also Project USAID project purchased over 100 wooden beehives for this agricultural college to establish good facilities for breeding Gadichsky interbreed of honeybees and to keep honeybee activity in this city, Gadich, Poltava region. Project bought also under financial support of project was received honey extraction equipment and more materials for the school. All this equipment will be used for the training apiary and honey process workshops. Hope so that it will be usefully used by teachers, by students of this agricultural college, because this is very intensive educational activity. This college, in Gadich Agricultural College, is only one educational institution focused specifically on beekeeping, which is training approximately 190 students annually. So these are some cases of positive support of different international, American, European charities to Ukrainian beekeepers, to Ukrainian honeybee industry, to Ukrainian activities in conservation and restoration and improvement of honeybee pollination and improvement of resources for beekeeping activities in Ukraine. Thank you for your attention. I hope it was quite interesting and entertaining for you to know a little bit more about some activities of international charities, international foundations in Ukraine. If you want to know more about these charities, type in internet, type on computer. I will write the names of these charities in English in the description of this video, so you will have opportunity to search using keywords such as charity, foundations, funds, grants, beekeeping equipment in Ukraine. So if you will be lucky and devoted beekeeper who is interested in development or beekeeping activity in Ukraine, and you speak some English, so you can find positively some pages with some advertisement, with some activities of these charities. So you will have opportunity to apply for this charity, for this foundation, for these funds, for these councils, which has supported some financial and material support to Ukrainian beekeepers, Ukrainian industry, professional beekeepers who are living on the beekeeping in Ukraine. Because we definitely understand that beekeepers were not starving for sure, but they need some quite expensive equipment during the year. So equipment are going to be old, you need to some restoration, you need to restore some beehives, to restore some colonies, to buy new equipment, to buy new honeybee packages, to take care about interbreeding, to make some experiments and some professional activities on your beekeeping farm. And it needs some money, some financial source. So search for money, search for support, search for foundation, and you will find it. And your dream come true, for sure. So some financial organizations can support you in this, your activity in beekeeping, despite all circumstances which are in Ukraine now, despite all troubles, despite all situations, despite all situation which has been affecting, which has affected beekeeping industry in Ukraine because of Russia-Ukrainian war. Thank you for interest and curiosity. If you have questions, write your questions. If you have comments, write your comments. If you are interested to know a little bit more about beekeeping in Ukraine and beekeeping in USA, tomorrow I will have an online stream translation with American beekeeper and American writer of some books on beekeeping on the same time, 7:30 p.m. on Sunday. So join me on this stream, so you will have opportunity to ask your question online, or you can ask your questions just later in description of this video. And don't forget, subscribe to my channel, press like, write your comments, visit my Patreon page or Monobank. To subscribe, press on the word subscribe. If you want to subscribe, press on the red line under the video, subscribe, so you will receive some messages about new videos more regularly. So internet will and YouTube will show you more often stories about Ukraine, stories about entomology, science about insects, and more stories about Ukrainian beekeepers, Ukrainian beekeeping activities. Thank you, Chuck, for curiosity. If you are watching on telephone, maybe it's not visible. So you can click directly on the name of my channel, so you will go directly to the channel. Because just when you are watching on telephone, sometimes subscribe is not visible. So you can check who is showing this video. So press on the name of channel. My channel is named Dr. Viktor Fursov, Entomologist, Beekeeper Teacher. Or just type the name, Viktor Fursov, Entomologist. You will find a bunch of different videos on YouTube. This is the easiest way. Just type the name, Dr. Viktor Fursov, in YouTube. And YouTube will show you just a list of different videos. So you go to the front page and click on subscribe. So it's meaning that you are interested in this. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for your curiosity. More stories about Ukrainian and other insects are coming. More stories about honeybees, about wild bees, solitary bees are coming to my channel. The sooner the better. More stories about hornets, wasps are coming on my channel. The sooner the better. If you have opportunity to chat privately on internet, okay, we can chat, or we can chat in Facebook as well. So I have a link on my Facebook as well. I'm not sure that I can give some advices about raising millipedes. This needs some very simple observations, keeping them in cages, in bigger cages like that. You need to find some good substrate for keeping them, like a mixture of soil with some plant material. So plant material will be just slightly rotting. Thank you. Thank you, Chuck, for coming. Joining. Yes, you need to have small terrarium or big one, at least maybe 3 liters cage. It's like terrarium. You need to have some open places like small windows here for breathing for your animals. So in this cage, like terrarium, you can keep them for a long time, feeding them with some plants. Don't allow too much coming some fungi. Don't allow to have extra water. So very easy way. So they don't need daily feeding millipedes. Just they need some care, some attention, and some observations. Thank you for interest and curiosity to honeybees. Thank you for interest to Ukrainian beekeeping. See you soon on my channel. And visit Monobank if you are from Ukraine. Your feedback as a sponsor of Monobank or just PayPal, for instance, or Patreon. Patreon is also quite possible. Thank you for your support. Good luck. See you soon on my channel. Bye-bye.